Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the elevation offering. It is the elevation offering that stays on the flame, on the altar, all night until the morning, and the fire of the altar should remain aflame on it. The Kohen shall don his fitted linen tunic, and he shall don linen breeches on his flesh. He shall separate the ash of what the fire consumed of the elevation offering on the altar, and place it next to the altar. He shall remove his garments, and don other garments, and he shall remove the ash to the outside of the camp, to a pure place. The fire on the altar shall remain burning on it, it shall not be extinguished, and the Kohen shall kindle wood upon it every morning. He shall prepare the elevation offering upon it, and shall cause the fats of the peace offerings to go up in smoke upon it. A permanent fire shall remain aflame on the altar, it shall not be extinguished. This is the law of the meal offering. The sons of Aaron shall bring it before Hashem to the front of the altar. He shall separate from it with his 3 fingers full some of the fine flour of the meal offering and some of its oil, and all the frankincense that is on the meal offering, and he shall cause them to go up in smoke on the altar for a satisfying aroma, its memorial portion unto Hashem. Aaron and his sons shall eat what is left of it. It shall be eaten unleavened in a holy place. In the courtyard of the tent of meeting shall they eat it. It shall not be baked leavened. I have presented it as their share from my fire offering. It is most holy, like the sin offering and like the guilt offering. Every male of the children of Aaron shall eat it, an eternal portion for your generations, from the fire offerings of Hashem. Whatever touches them shall become holy. Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and his sons, which each shall offer to Hashem on the day he is inaugurated, 1/10 ephah of fine flour as a continual meal offering, half of it in the morning and half of it in the afternoon. It should be made on a pan with oil, scalded shall you bring it, and repeatedly baked meal offering, broken into pieces, you shall offer it as a satisfying aroma to Hashem. The Kohen from among his sons who is anointed in his place shall perform it. It is an eternal decree for Hashem. It shall be caused to go up in smoke in its entirety. Every meal offering of a Kohen is to be entirely caused to go up in smoke. It shall not be eaten. Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. In the place where the elevation offering is slaughtered shall the sin offering be slaughtered. Before Hashem, it is most holy. The Kohen who performs its sin offering service shall eat it. It shall be eaten in a holy place in the courtyard of the tent of meeting. Whatever touches its flesh becomes holy, and if its blood is sprinkled upon a garment, whatever it has been sprinkled upon, you shall wash in a holy place. An earthenware vessel in which it was cooked shall be broken, but if it was cooked in a copper vessel, that should be purged and rinsed in water. Every male among the Kohanim may eat it. It is most holy. Any sin offering from which some blood has been brought to the tent of meeting to effect atonement within the holy shall not be eaten. It shall be burned in fire. This is the law of the guilt offering. It is most holy. In the place where they shall slaughter the elevation offering shall they slaughter the guilt offering. And he shall throw its blood upon the altar all around. All of its fat shall he offer of it, the tail and the fat that covers the innards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that covers them, which is on the flanks, and he shall remove the diaphragm, as well as the liver, as well as the kidneys. The Kohen shall cause them to go up in smoke on the altar, a fire offering to Hashem. It is a guilt offering. Every male among the Kohanim may eat it. It shall be eaten in a holy place. It is most holy. Like the sin offering is the guilt offering. There is one law for them. It shall belong to a Kohen, who performs its atonement service, and the Kohen who offers a person's elevation offering. The hide of the elevation offering that he offered shall belong to that Kohen. It shall be his. Any meal offering that is baked in the oven, and any that is made in a deep pan or upon a shallow pan, it shall belong to the Kohen who offers it. It shall be his. And any meal offering that is mixed with oil or that is dry, it shall belong to all the sons of Aaron, every man alike. This is the law of the feast peace offering that one will offer to Hashem. If he shall offer it for a thanksgiving offering, he shall offer with the feast thanksgiving offering unleavened loaves mixed with oil, unleavened wafers smeared with oil, and loaves of scalded fine flour mixed with oil. With loaves of leavened bread shall he bring his offering, with his feast thanksgiving peace offering. From it he shall offer one from each kind of offering, a portion to Hashem. It shall belong to the Kohen who throws the blood of the peace offering, and the flesh of his feast thanksgiving peace offering must be eaten on the day of its offering. He shall not leave any of it until morning. If his feast offering is for a vow or a donation, it must be eaten on the day he offered his feast offering, and on the next day what is left over from it may be eaten. What is left over from the flesh of the feast offering shall be burned in the fire on the third day. And if some of the flesh of his feast peace offering was intended to be eaten on the third day, it is not acceptable. The one who offers it may not intend this. It remains rejected, and the soul that eats from it shall bear its iniquity. The flesh that touches any contaminated thing may not be eaten. It shall be burned in fire. But of the uncontaminated flesh, any uncontaminated person may eat the flesh. A person who eats flesh from the feast peace offering that is Hashem's while his contamination is upon him, that soul will be cut off from its people. If a person touches any contamination, whether human contamination or a contaminated animal carcass or any contaminated detestable carcass, and he eats from the flesh of a feast peace offering that is Hashem's, then that soul will be cut off from its people. Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, Any fat of oxen, sheep, or goats you shall not eat. The fat of an animal that died and the fat of an animal that has been torn to death may be put to any use, but you shall not eat it. For anyone who eats the fat of animal species from which one may bring a fire offering to Hashem, the soul that eats will be cut off from its people. You shall not consume any blood in any of your dwelling places, whether from fowl or from animals. Any person who consumes any blood, that soul will be cut off from its people. Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, When one brings his feast peace offering to Hashem, he shall deliver his offering to Hashem from his feast peace offering. With his own hands shall he bring the fire offerings of Hashem. The fat atop the breast shall he bring, the breast in order to wave it as a wave service before Hashem. The Kohen shall cause the fat to go up in smoke on the altar, and the breast shall be for Aaron and his sons. You shall give the right thigh as a raised up gift to the Kohen from your feast peace offering. Anyone from among the sons of Aaron who shall offer the blood of the peace offering and the fat, the right thigh shall be his as a portion. For the breast of the waving and the thigh of the raising up have I taken from the children of Israel for their feast peace offering, and I have given them to Aaron the Kohen and his sons as an eternal stipend from the children of Israel. This is the atonement portion of Aaron and the atonement portion of his sons from the fire offering of Hashem, on the day he brought them near to minister to Hashem, that Hashem commanded to be given them on the day he anointed them from the children of Israel. It is an eternal decree for their generations. This is the law of the elevation offering, the meal offering, the sin offering, and the guilt offering, and the inaugural offering, and the feast peace offering, which Hashem commanded Moses on Mount Sinai, on the day he commanded the children of Israel to bring their offerings to Hashem in the wilderness of Sinai. Hashem spoke to Moses, saying, Take Aaron and his sons with him, and the vestments, and the oil of anointment, and the bull of the sin offering, and the 2 rams, and the basket of matzos. Gather the entire assembly to the entrance of the tent of meeting. Moses did as Hashem commanded him, and the assembly was gathered to the entrance of the tent of meeting. Moses said to the assembly, This is the thing that Hashem commanded to be done. Moses brought Aaron and his sons forward, and he immersed them in water. He placed the tunic upon him and girdled him with the sash. He dressed him in the robe and placed the ephod on him. He girdled him with the belt of the ephod and adorned him with it. He placed the breastplate upon him, and in the breastplate he placed the Urim and Tumim, and put the turban upon his head, and put the turban towards his face. He placed the golden headplate, the sacred diadem, as Hashem had commanded Moses. Moses took the oil of anointment and anointed the tabernacle and everything with it. Thus he sanctified them. He sprinkled from it 7 times upon the altar. He anointed the altar and all its utensils, and the laver and its base, in order to sanctify them. He poured from the oil of anointment upon Aaron's head, and he anointed him to sanctify him. Moses brought the sons of Aaron forward. He dressed them in tunics, and girdled each of them with a sash, and wrapped the headdresses upon them, as Hashem had commanded Moses. He brought forward the sin offering bull. Aaron and his sons leaned their hands upon the head of the sin offering bull. He slaughtered it, and Moses took the blood and placed it on the horns of the altar all around with his forefingers, and he purified the altar. He poured the remaining blood upon the base of the altar, and he sanctified it so that atonement could be provided upon it. Then he took all the fat that is upon the innards, and the diaphragm of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat, and Moses caused them to go up in smoke on the altar. And the bull with its hide, flesh, and waist he burned in fire outside the camp, as Hashem had commanded Moses. Then he brought near the ram for the elevation offering, and Aaron and his sons leaned their hands upon the head of the ram. He slaughtered it, and Moses threw the blood upon the altar all around. He cut the ram into its parts. Moses caused the head and the parts and the fats to go up in smoke. He washed the innards and the feet with water. Moses caused the entire ram to go up in smoke on the altar. It was an elevation offering for a satisfying aroma. It was a fire offering to Hashem, as Hashem had commanded Moses. Then he brought near the second ram, the inauguration ram, and Aaron and his sons leaned their hands upon the head of the ram. He slaughtered it, and Moses took some of its blood and placed it upon the middle part of Aaron's right ear, upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the big toe of his right foot. He brought the sons of Aaron forward, and Moses put some of the blood upon the middle part of their right ear, upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the big toe of their right foot. And Moses threw the remaining blood upon the altar all around. He took the fat and the tail, and all the fat that was upon the innards, and the diaphragm of the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right thigh. And from the basket of matzos that was before Hashem, he took 1 matzah loaf, 1 oily bread loaf, and 1 wafer, and placed them on the fats and on the right thigh. He put it all on Aaron's palm and on the palms of his sons, and he waved them as a wave service before Hashem. Then Moses took them from on their palms and caused them to go up in smoke on the altar after the elevation offering. They were inauguration offerings for a satisfying aroma. It was a fire offering to Hashem. Moses took the breast and waved it as a wave service before Hashem. From the ram of the inauguration, it was a portion for Moses, and Hashem had commanded Moses. Moses took from the oil of the anointment and some of the blood that was on the altar, and he sprinkled it upon Aaron and his vestments, and upon his sons, and upon the vestment of his sons who were with him. Thus he sanctified Aaron and his vestments, and his sons, and the vestments of his sons with him. Moses said to Aaron and to his sons, "Cook the flesh at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and there you shall eat it, and the bread that is in the basket of the inauguration offerings, as I have commanded, saying, Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And whatever is left over of the flesh and of the bread you shall burn in the fire. You shall not leave the entrance of the tent of meeting for 7 days, until the day when your days of inauguration are completed, for you shall be inaugurated for a 7-day period. As he did on this day, so Hashem had commanded to be done to provide atonement for you. At the entrance of the tent of meeting shall you dwell day and night for a 7-day period, and you shall protect Hashem's charge so that you will not die. For so have I been commanded." Aaron and his sons carried out all the matters that Hashem commanded through Moses.